Hi, we're reading the story. We are on page 87, and we are still at the point, my hair's looking a little cray-cray today, that's okay. We're still at the point where Moses is telling them what the Lord said. We're coming in on the end here, but he's telling them all his last things before the Lord takes him to heaven, basically. Okay, so though Moses had often complained that he was not a public speaker, his strong words of encouragement kept the people faithful, focused, and hopeful for many years. Moses knew God well, and he loved the people. That knowledge and passion were often expressed in poetic prayers full of lament, joy, passion, and devotion. After these words, Moses summoned Joshua and said to Joshua in the presence of all of Israel, he said, "Be strong and courageous, for you must go with this people into the land that the Lord swore to their ancestors to give them, and you must divide it among them as their inheritance. The Lord himself goes before you and will be with you. He will never leave you nor forsake you. Do not be afraid. Do not be discouraged." On the same day that the Lord told Moses, this is what he told Moses, "Go up into the Arabim range to Mount Nebo in Moab, across from Jericho, and view Canaan, the land I am giving the Israelites as their own possession." So he's going to let Moses see the land, but he's not going to let Moses go into the land. "There on the mountain that you have climbed, you will die and be gathered to your people, just as your brother Aaron died on Mount Hor and was gathered to his people. This is because both of you broke faith with me in the presence of the Israelites at the waters of Meribah Kadesh in the desert of Zin." So it wasn't just that they had a lack of faith, or that they didn't believe, or that they had because we all have times when we don't believe, and we have to, stir our faith back up and believe again. But it was because that they were the leaders, and that they, in the presence of the Israelites, said that God said something he didn't say.
Blasphemy.
That is blasphemy, when you're saying God said something and he didn't say that, and he was telling it to the whole congregation of Israel. So that was kind of the key thing there. "And because you did not uphold my holiness among the Israelites." So he had presented God in a way that didn't show him holy in front of everyone. "Therefore, you will see the land from a distance only. You will not enter the land I am giving to the people of Israel."
I think Moses was a bit upset because he went through all this.
Yes.
And he isn't able to
go. Yes, I think so too. He probably was upset.
Me too.
"Then Moses climbed Mount Nebo from the plains of Moab to the top of Pisgah across from Jericho. There the Lord showed him the whole land, from Gilead to Dan, all of Naphtali, the territory of Ephraim and Manasseh, all the land of Judah, as far as the Mediterranean Sea, the Negev, and the whole region from the valley of Jericho, the city of palms, as far as Zoar. Then the Lord said to him, 'This is the land I promised on oath to Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob, when I said, I will give it to your descendants. I have let you see it with your eyes, but you will not cross over into it.' And Moses, the servant of the Lord, died there in Moab, as the Lord had said. He buried him there in Moab, in the valley opposite Beth Peor. But to this day, no one knows where his grave is. Moses was 120 years old when he died, yet his eyes were not weak, nor his strength gone." That's going to be us. "Our eyes shall not be weak, our strength shall not be gone. My hair shall not be gray. My skin shall still be smooth."
I will not lose my birthmark.
You will not lose your birthmark. Okay. "Then the Israelites grieved for Moses in the plains of Moab 30 days, until the time of weeping and mourning was over." So the Lord set a time for them to mourn. But when that time was over, they had to get up and go on. They couldn't just wallow in sorrow forever. They had other things that they needed to accomplish. Since then, no prophet has risen in Israel like Moses, whom the Lord knew face to face, who did all those signs and wonders the Lord sent him to do in Egypt, to Pharaoh and to all his officials and to the whole land. For no one has ever shown the mighty power or performed the awesome deeds that Moses did in the sight of all Israel. That reminds me of the phrase, to whom much is given, much is required. Meaning the Lord gave Moses a whole lot, meaning he showed him his face, he spoke with him face to face, he allowed him to perform these great signs and wonders, but that also meant he had a lot of responsibility. And one of those responsibilities was to present the Lord well in front of all of Israel. And he failed at that task, and so he wasn't allowed to go into the land. But like I said before, this also Moses passing away also kind of, because Moses kind of is a picture of Jesus in terms of the law. He's a foretype or a foreshadowing of Jesus and the law, Jesus fulfilling the law. But that time had ended, and now comes the time of walking in grace. And so that's when we're going to see Joshua also picturing Jesus walking in the time of grace coming in. Okay, so we're going to stop there, and we will be at page 89.